Overdrive Alcoholics, what's up? It's Pete Thorn. Welcome to the studio. Hey, it's the tilt pedal from my friends at REVV and Mr. SHAWN TUBBS. SHAWN, of course, outstanding guitar player. You might have seen him on YouTube in his great YouTube videos, but he's also done many gigs like with folks like Carrie Underwood. I remember SHAWN from Hollywood, actually, because he used to work in the Mesa store on Sunset Boulevard. This is going way back, like almost 30 years. And he, back then, had a reputation for being a ripper of a guitar player. So he designed this pedal in conjunction with REVV. What is this thing? Well, it's an overdrive on this side, and then it's a boost on this side. You can use them independent of one another, or you can stack them and use them together. The overdrive side, I would say, is decidedly sort of a smoother, sort of Nashville kind of sounding affair, actually. It's not Marshall in a box. It's got a great kind of, is it dirty, is it not dirty sort of sound. You heard me really utilize that on the main guitar part in the song at the beginning of the video. That kind of smooth, real musical kind of overdrive. It's not like edgy or, fizzy in any way or anything like that. Just a great, smooth, kind of lyrical overdrive. Anyway, you know what I mean. Now on the boost side, it's quite different than any boost I've ever seen. You've got a low cut switch here that allows you to tailor the low end depending on what you're plugging into and what kind of sound you want to get. Boost level knob right there. But then there's this tilt control. It's really unique and allows you to tailor the EQ. So more on that in just a bit. Now on the track at the beginning of the video, I mainly used the pedal into the clean channel of my PT100 amp back there, so into a Fendery clean, except for on the last lead guitar part, the kind of high gain solo. I wanted to try the pedal into the overdrive side of my amp and see what that sounded like if somebody was going to use it with something like a JCM 800. So I set up the amp for kind of a JCM 800 sort of like rhythm gain sound, and then used both the overdrive and the boost to get it over the top into like singing high gain, still smooth territory. So I'm going to solo all those parts outside the mix. You can clearly hear. I'm going to give you more playing examples and all that good stuff. Let's check it out. The Tilt from my friends at REVV. So I just recorded the main part that starts off the song. In the song, I just used the overdrive side of the tilt for the main part. Number one thing about this pedal is that the tone controls are really great and really active, I find. So the treble and the bass on the overdrive side. So I've got the treble set really neutral right now. It's about halfway or just a little bit past 12 o'clock, maybe at 12:30. And the bass I've got down around maybe 10:30 or 11. And that just sounds great. So this is the that's the part that I played with this sound, and it just sounds perfect for that sound. Now, but check out how much range there is on the EQ. Right, so a really wide range on the treble and the bass control there. So I would say that this overdrive is going to work with a lot of different amps. My clean sound right now, I've got the bright switch on my amp on. So it's kind of a bright, Fendery, mid-60s kind of thing that I've got going right now. And by setting the treble at half and the bass just a little bit below half, that just worked perfect with this sound. And then the boost. It's a really versatile boost. You can use it independently of the overdrive, so it's really nice for kicking the front end of an amplifier that's maybe already dirty or clean. And it's got this great feature, a tight control. Okay, so this is basically like a low cut switch. You can have a full range boost like microamp style, where you can set the tight control in two different positions that'll give you two different low cut settings. I like to cut lows generally when I'm boosting into something that's already dirty, like a distortion or a drive or an already distorted amp. It just helps helps keep things articulate and tight. But if I'm boosting into clean sound or just an edge of breakup sound, I might want to have just a straight up full range boost. So you got that option there. Let me show you what it sounds like here with a clean sound. See here, it just buffers a little bit, and you get a little bit of a lift there, and the tone stays pretty neutral, just pumps it up a little bit. Okay, let's check out the tight switch now. Okay, so you can hear there in the lower setting you get the most low cut, the upper setting you get just a little bit of low cut, and in the center it's the normal setting. Okay, now with this tilt control, this is going to allow you to kind of contour the mid-range. Essentially it seems to be a pretty broad mid-range control that at the 2 o'clock position seems pretty neutral to me. If I turn it up, I'm going to get a darker, fuller low mid sound, and then if I bring it down below 2 o'clock, it seems to scoop out the mids and give me like just more of a scoop sound in general. I'll show you. Okay, so it's like a contour control really for the mid-range, I would say. And that's pretty cool because, I mean, you could, if you've got like a fat, you know, neck humbucker sound or something, you want to kind of scoop it out and add some high end, you could tailor the sound of a pickup with that easily. And so between that and the level control and the tight, you got a lot of range for control there over the boost tone. So I just cut the first lead guitar part on the song at the beginning of the video. I just realized I'm really kicking the front end of the amp with the sound as it is right now. The pedal has a lot of output, so that's my clean sound. Overdrive substantially louder, and then with the boost. So I just cut the main lead guitar solo in the song, and I wanted to show you what I was doing for that, because for that I was boosting my distortion channel on my PT100 amp, and I'm using both the boost and the overdrive to get into kind of a smooth high gain territory. So the amp is kind of bright and crunchy JCM 800 vibe right now. Okay, and then hitting the boost, I keep that bright and crunchy vibe going. I fatten up things a little bit using the tilt control, and I'll show you what I mean. I've got the bass cut. I'm in the most bass cut position to keep things tight, but I am kind of leaning towards the thicker mids setting on the boost. So here we go. I'll just show you what I mean. Okay, so you can hear using the tilt control, brought it back down towards noon, and things thin out a little bit. It's too much for me, so then I brought it up to about 230 right now, and that's filling out the mid-range and making it a nice fat mids thing, but well, I'm still cutting bass, so keeping things tight. But I still felt like I wanted more, and maybe I wanted to smooth out the tone so I could go up real high on the high E string and have a very smooth singing sound. So for that, I'm using the overdrive, and I'm running the treble back actually at about 10 or 1030. Bass is at about 1130. I've got the volume on about half, and I've got the gain on about 1130. Check out what happens when I add it. It's adding grind and drive, but it's also darkening the tone substantially to kind of smoothen it, and also add overdrive. So I found it lended just a great big fat singing kind of thing to single notes, and especially when I got up high on the high E string. Anytime you can hit the top note on the high E string, you know, and have it kind of sing and not be ear-piercing, that's a cool thing, right? So it lended itself well to this sound, I think, the tilt pedal, adding both the overdrive and the boost to the crunchy rhythm sound on my amp. And there you have it. Thanks for watching my video on the tilt, designed by Mr. Shawn TUBBS and the nice people at REVV Amplification and Pedals. They make some nice pieces of gear. Great sounding overdrive, great sounding boosts that you can use stacked together or independently. Worked nicely into both the clean channel and the dirty channel on my amp. There's a link down there in the video description below. You can click there, it'll take you to more info about the tilt. There's also a Sweetwater link in case you want to pick one up. And if you guys wouldn't mind, please hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And hit the little bell beside the subscribe. You'll get an alert every time I put out a new video. Thanks to Mr. TUBBS, and thanks to REVV Amplification, and I'll see you guys real soon. I'm Pete Thorn. Take care.